A little bit of tune in the background. Kind of like theme tune of UpScalp, which is a tune I made myself. Yeah, it's a little quiet. There we go. Just so people know that the stream is live. So I always put the tune in the background so that people can realize that if I'm not speaking, it's not dead. It's actually just not me speaking for a moment. Okay, great. So I'm just waiting for X to start up recording as well, and then I can begin today. Let's see where we're at here. Perfect. We're live on all 3 channels. Great. Welcome back. It's been 2 days since I did one of these, because on Friday I did the Azure DeFi kill switch space on Friday. That's one of the things I decided I'll talk about today. And then yesterday just had a day offline, really, away from my laptop, so I wasn't able to be doing any live streaming or even any UpScalp work, to be honest. So I had a day off from it. It's absolutely crazy here at the minute. It is feels like minus temperature, hail, wind, rain. Genuinely feels like being back in the middle of winter again. I don't know what is happening here, but as you may know, I'm from Ireland, and it's St. Patrick's Day in 2 days' time, and all across Ireland we have parades to celebrate it through the streets of various cities and towns all over the country. And it's looking like it's going to be absolutely terrible for them, to be honest. It's going to be very, very cold and wet if it's anything like today. And it's only 2 days away. So we're back. This is day 29. So we're officially into the 5th week of UpScalp now. So we've done 4 weeks so far since launching for the PumpFun Hackathon. That was really the reason why I launched the token, to enter the hackathon. But we're into about 6.5 to 7 months of actual development time at this point, because I began the product back in, I think it was September last year. So a substantial amount of work done, a lot of work to do as well, but a lot of the work is planned, pretty well planned. And I actually had a request today for one of the things I'll talk about is the testing that I'm doing at the moment, because I'm doing going through basically a regimen of testing for both the scanning engine of UpScalp and the API bot, which is just kind of ongoing testing that I've been doing for months anyway. But I might start with Friday, what happened at the Azure DeFi space on X. It was called Kill Switch Live. It's led by their CEO, Chapo, the founder of Azure DeFi. And basically they have a number of projects on. He puts them in what he calls the hot seat. He interviews them, questions them very, very deeply about their project, and he either says that you survive his questioning, or that he drops the kill switch, is what he calls it. In other words, you didn't survive. So the good news was all 4 projects survived on Friday when I took part, but I hadn't listened to previous episodes to prepare for doing it, and that is definitely not always the case. If he is not satisfied with the way folks have answered their questions, then he definitely is not shy about dropping the kill switch on them. And so when I was listening back to a couple of episodes before, he was really getting into deep questioning with some of the projects, and indeed gave them the kill switch. They didn't survive, according to him, which, as he says, doesn't mean that they're not going to be successful, but right now he sees enough gaps in them to have concerns. And the really good news was that he didn't for us. We survived. He had a lot of good things to say, especially say about like my dedication to this and the passion that I'm putting into it, and a lot of good recommendations too that I'm going to be taking him up on. In fact, next week, I hope, but at the moment I can't really talk about that until I set up those meetings that I need to. But yeah, some hopefully bullish stuff on the way, just me connecting more into the infrastructure of DeFi, of Solana, of crypto itself. Yeah, so that is something that I'll hopefully be able to do a stream about next week, as soon as I get it set up, what I'm trying to set up. Can't really announce it until then, unfortunately, so I just have to keep that one for a future session, when after, say, I have whatever calls or meetings that I'm trying to set up. So apart from that, I think it was a really, really good week. I got an enormous amount of development work done. Feeling it today, though, definitely after stepping away from it for a day, and especially stepping away from my laptop and being offline for most of the day. Feeling it today, it's almost like slowing down allows the tiredness to catch up with you. So that's how I'm feeling today. It's definitely kind of caught up with me. I slept a lot today, a lot more than I thought I would, and I could still sleep more to be honest. But there's things to be done. So getting into the main topic for today, then the request that I had from our Telegram community, which was about. Well, before I do that, actually, I should say just to comment. I'm looking at PumpFun right now as I'm streaming, and just to say that the chart is still holding so incredibly well, I think, because I do look at other projects and I do look at what's going on. And for example, we saw that there were multiple entrants into the hackathon who have already rugged. They're long gone at this point when we're into week 5. And I do see, say, in Telegram groups that I'm part of, other people advertising projects and seeing them give up after 3 to 4 days. So we're at week 5 now of our token launch, and we're still at 22k, close 22. Yeah, is where we're at right now. That is about 40% of the all-time high. So like we're really holding so well there, and it just gives that really bullish base that when people would look at the chart, they would see there's obvious stability there, clear stability. So it'd be very, very good for the future, I think, to see that we've managed to hold that. So then, just to go back to the request. So the request I got was from the Telegram community, just to talk through the testing work I'm doing right now. So specifically, it's related to this task here. So this is our public Kanban board, by the way. This is publicly available for anyone to check out. I haven't put a description here, but that's okay. Maybe I can add a description after we talk about it right now. This is the link. This is the link here if you want it. I've shared it on X before, and I'll share it in our Telegram group actually right now too, just for the heck of it. I'm going to share it right now. So the story with the testing is I'm constantly researching edges for the product, and I've got a couple of automated processes that do research for me, and then I assess them. I assess them myself, and I use AI to assess them too, to see what value we can take from it and how we could potentially use the findings of research to improve the product. And I did, say it's 3 weeks ago now, make a substantial breakthrough in relation to an improved adaptive scoring system. So right now, UpScalp does react to changes in the market, but definitely it's much better in certain market conditions than others. So in choppy markets, for example, it's poor at the moment. It's not really delivering as high a win rate as I would prefer. And this is related to improving this by refining what's there, but also introducing some new techniques that I've discovered through research. And I said in the Telegram community that this would be a 14-day test, what do you call it, test plan, basically. So we're about a week through it at this point. And really what it is just, say I have 5 areas live at the minute, so 5 areas of new development that I've built, 5 refinements. And it's just a really, really meticulous testing of each of them. I can use historical data, like I have so much data that UpScalp constantly collects for me, and I can create tests based on that historical data, but it is always the final test then to what I do, what's called shadow testing. So the new code is in the product, but it doesn't actually affect anything. It just records what would have happened. So it's analyzing what would have happened and logging what would have happened if the code itself was influential on how the bot works. Right now it's kind of there, but not influencing how the product behaves. So it's a 14-day test plan for that, just really meticulously testing all of these new elements, the 5 new elements that I've added to the scoring system and the adjustments that I've made to the rest of the code. Each day testing it, each day making sure that it's passing certain checkpoints and making proposals for refinements to it if it doesn't pass. So already today, say like 4 of the 5 elements when I was checking them today are doing well, and one of them is not. And I think that's the importance of doing testing like this, rather than pushing things live and seeing how it goes. By doing this really meticulous testing plan that I have, like a pathway of testing, it lets me see when things are not going to perform in production. So right now, I would say that 4th element is probably on the edge of just outright rejection that I won't ever use it. Um, I'll look at refining it more and seeing if it's worth it, but I don't think it is. That's why testing is so important. And so that's in the scanner side, this phase 3, and then I'm just going to go back again. So then, still on the API side, I hope I have it here, do I? Not quite. Oh yeah, there it is. Okay, it's just phase 2 testing is what I've been calling it. Again, this is just general testing. So again, for similar reasons or in a similar way, the API bot does very, very well in certain conditions, generally bearish conditions, because that's what I built it for. This product was primarily as a bear market product, but that doesn't mean that there aren't opportunities if the market turns bullish for a very short period again, or even maybe slightly longer period, as we've seen in, say, like the last week or so, and then choppy conditions too as well, when it's unsure and the market is fluctuating, it's volatile. And the API bot is very, very good in the bearish conditions. So when shorts are clear, it's doing very, very well. But it's very quiet in other conditions. So I think I explained in a previous live stream, this is very similar with the Signal product. It went the same way. So the scanner itself and the UpScalp signals, it was a very, very similar way of creating risk framing, risk gates, risk protection, and then very, very gradually unwinding them or adjusting them to get the balance between opportunity and risk. So when I built UpScalp initially, talking back in September last year, it could deliver fantastic signals and big wins, but it also could deliver a lot of losses. So what I did then was build all of the risk framing that it currently has in the risk gates. And that was a process of building in those risk protections. Then it made the bot too safe. There was an imbalance between opportunity and risk, and it was gradually testing how I could refine that the risk protection, until I hit the sweet spot that it's currently in, where it's doing really, really well in many different types of market condition. So it's just the same process with the API bot as well. I'm doing this because there isn't really a point in me releasing this if it doesn't do any trades for you. So right now, in the current conditions that we're having, where the market has turned a little bullish again for a while, or in the volatile conditions, which have been very common again lately, it's not doing an enormous amount of trades. So it's to find that risk versus opportunity balance and make sure that the bot is active in as many different types of market conditions as possible, so it doesn't leave opportunities on the table while still not taking unnecessary or dumb risk. As I said, on the Azure DeFi space, fundamentally, right from the very beginning, the mantra has been make gains and avoid dumb risk. It underpins every piece of work that I'm doing here for this product. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with it. I was saying, like, still aiming for a target of beta testing the UpScalp API product in 2 weeks' time. We'll see how that goes. Should still be able to do it. It will be holders of UpScalp Premium that will be the ones who get to test it first. What that means is you hold 5 million tokens, which is 0.5% of supply. That gives you access to the UpScalp Premium Signals bot, the UpScalp Premium Holders group, and then you will be one of the first testers of the API product too. So that's pretty much where we're at, really. We're at about the 15-minute mark of the stream, and lately that's kind of covered, really. I've been doing like 15 minutes per day, just as quick updates of development work, etc. I've done a few longer ones lately, but generally when there was bigger things to talk about, like a mix of the product work I'm doing or the general market or general technology market that the kind of building I'm doing exists in, which is agentic development. There isn't really much to talk about that at the minute, I don't think. So I'll probably leave it there unless there are questions. I'm just going to go cycling through all of the 3 platforms that we're broadcasting in. Oh, cool. I see a few people are listening in on VC on Telegram. I'm just going to check PumpFun as well. Let's see, are there any questions there? Nope, no questions on PumpFun. That's great. And let's just have a quick look on X. Okay, I don't think there's anything there. And no notifications. Perfect. Okay, great. So what I'll probably do is leave it there and just go back to work, to be honest. Go back to the testing that I was doing. I do have a little bit of other work as well that I need to get done today as well, before the next week starts. So I'm going to have a busy evening, but that's fine. It's easy to have a busy evening when it's interesting work and when it's something that you enjoy doing, and I would say also something that you can be proud of. So definitely, I guess that's the reason why I end up getting so tired as well, because I'm working so hard on this, because I'm proud of it, and I feel very good about the direction that the work is going. It's very, very encouraging. So in a way, that makes it easy to continue working and continue grinding. So that's it. I'm going to wrap it up there for today. I'm going to stop the recording. I'll be back again for more live streams tomorrow. Have a great end of your weekend, and talk to you again next week, starting tomorrow. Thanks very much. And as I always say, I really appreciate everyone who tunes in. I'm so happy that people tune in and check out the recordings and listen to it. I really appreciate your support. Thanks very much. Talk to you tomorrow.